I will meet you guys here. In like 20 minutes. Okay.
Nods.
Okay, so Stalbor, back at your room, you kind of like get into your room. You go and you face flop onto your pillow, and because you don't sleep, but you still got a pillow, and
I have a nest.
You still got a pillow. Yeah, he has a nest.
yes, okay.
Nest.
Your pillow made out of, like, at least my wife, I don't know about other people, I guess some people, but my wife, that's like her favorite pillow is actually a little blankie. Like she's like, nah, because like you can form it under your neck.
My favorite pillow is one that is just so old, it's just so thin.
So it's like you can form any way you want it to. Yeah, right. Okay, so there you go. So I imagine it's just Stalbor. It's a Luca's cloak.
I'm wearing the cloak. The cloak is the inner layer of the nest, and then there's all the bedding on the bed, and then there's like all the other stuff that I have that's vaguely comfortable, like old clothes and things. Luca's old clothes, to be fair.
So yeah, so that's the appropriate
Blew up.
nest. Oh, so moving on. You're there for not even that long, not terribly long, when you hear a on your door.
Same as last time, I wait for like 3 sets of knocks before I open. At this point, it's become...
Well, there's a second knock, and when you don't respond for the second knock, you actually hear a woman's voice that's not familiar to you saying, "Stalbor, are you in there?"
I open the door like a crack.
Yeah, you actually see a younger woman. She's, clearly, you can just tell by the way that she's standing, her posture and everything. She's clearly somebody who's capable of like fighting, like she's half elf, you think she is. Has a sword strapped to either of her sides. She seems to have authority, just like her pose, the fact that she's standing there, the quality of her armor that's on her, but not too covering. It's not like obnoxiously like a big breastplate, but she clearly seems to have authority and not like a typical guard. Maybe an adventurer, maybe more.
I just look. I don't say anything.
Okay, she's like, pardon, you're Stalbor, right?
I don't say anything.
Can I at least get a head nod from you? Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm being rude. I've got, hold on. And she like reaches around for a second and she grabs like a little, like seed and she, puts it onto her mouth and like bites down really hard. And you can see almost like a little green goop start to like, it's like, ugh. She like swallows something that seems disgusting. And then after like kind of like stretching her mouth out for a moment, you can see there's like this green goopy residue on her tongue. She starts to speak to you in perfect Elvish, but like your dialect of Elvish. And she's like, "Are you Stalbor?"
What was that? What was that seed?
It's a seed of knowledge.
Where can I get those?
We could talk about that.
If you're a saleswoman, I'd happily buy some.
I'm not. I'm actually captain of the guard.
You see, I just came into some money.
Oh.
My friend died.
This conversation's kind of going sideways. I'm actually here about a friend of yours.
I'm sorry, I'm not that interested in buying them, but...
I'm not a saleswoman, I'm captain of the guard.
Oh.
Here.
Stalbor looks very suspicious for a few seconds.
You're friends with Kieran, then?
He's like, I mean...
Yes, didn't she go to prison?
She did until she broke out.
Oh.
Do you have any idea where she might be?
I'm too depressed to leave this room.
It's unfortunate. I'm going to need you to come with me so we can kind of get to the bottom of this. Could you do that?
I don't see why not.
I'd appreciate that.
But you see, I am too depressed to leave this room.
You just said I don't... Stalbor, please come with me to the barracks so we can discuss Kieran.
Fine. Give me a minute.
Thank you. It's a sensitive nature. Huh?
The door closes.
Yep.
And then I pack up my nest.
Jumps out the window.
And then I open the door again and I step out.
Okay. She's waiting there. She's waiting there, like her arms are crossed and her foot's tapping. Like it took a while. I mean, I know Stalbor knows it took a while, but he didn't care either. And then finally, she's like, "Thank you. Please come with me." And
I guess I will.
okay, so she walks down the stairs and she kind of gives a look to the barkeeper, to the innkeeper. My apologies, and he just kind of like, okay, and like he just kind of like looks like taken aback, like what? Like I didn't do anything. I'm not a part of anything. Leave me alone. And so he just kind of like immediately like breaks eye contact as soon as he makes this face, like looks down, and goes back to what he's doing, and then she continues walking out with you. The first half of the walk is completely no conversation whatsoever. She doesn't say anything to you. Eventually, she takes a small stab at small talk. How long have you known Kieran?
That's a curious question. At least a year, I suppose. Not as long as I knew Luca.
Luca is?
My dead friend.
Luca was. And how did he die?
He actually will chuckle at that.
Huh.
It's like probably the first time he's laughed since.
How did he die?
Beholder.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think he would think that too.
Well, come with me this way. She says, it kind of like drops the conversation from there.
Then like after a little pause, like maybe 10 minutes, he'd be like, I would be more worried about the beholder problem you have outside your town than Kieran.
That's something to look into, she says.
We'll get right on it. We got our best people.
She leads you to the barracks, and like she kind of like waves to a guard as she goes, and kind of like walks downstairs with you. And she's like,
I'll stop and be like, you're not putting me in a prison cell. I'm here to talk to you in your office.
We can talk in the office instead if you'd prefer. I was going to talk with you in the cell. We can talk in my office instead.
I think you can understand why one of those would be more pleasant than the other.
I wasn't really concerned about pleasantry. We are talking about somebody who just
You should
broke out of
always be
prison.
concerned about pleasantry. Everyone that enters this building is your guest.
She chooses not to argue with you and just gestures for you to go to her office.
I will go.
Roll me a perception check.
It's been so long. Couldn't perceive the button for perception.
So you don't notice that as she's walking behind you to the office, she pulls something out and hits you in the back of the head extremely hard until she hits you in the back of the head with something extremely hard. So give me 1 second, Salvor.
You shouldn't do that to Stalbor. He might not wake up again. You can kind of get away with that.
Luca killed by a beholder. Stalbor bludgeoned to death by a sap.
It's what Stalbor gets for resisting.
Don't resist! He's like passed out on the ground. Stop resisting! He's got a gun to stop us.
You're laughing. You weren't there on the Mass Effect stream. That was a thing.
What was the thing?
Oh god.
It was a thing. It was sad.
17.
I'm not unconscious!
You're not? Awesome. You get to roll initiative as
He lives!
she smashes you in the back of the head with a sap. So it hurts like a mother effer. You get to roll initiative, sir.
This is why I said we go after the lady first, Aaron. This is exactly why.
And then I said, yeah, let's go. And you were like, no, never mind.
No, that's not how that went down.
Oh, 1 second.
Went down.
You were in a fucking fog cloud and you left. You were gas.
I followed you. I said, okay, go.
followed you.
I said, go talk to her.
I
And
ain't
you're like,
talking
no,
to
never
helium.
mind. We're gonna leave.
I ain't scared of no ghosts.
Oh my god, you actually get to go first, Stalvor.
So Stalbor turns around quite slowly. I'm going to...
Oh, you didn't see my roll. Oh, it was a
going to
GM
hope
roll.
that you
Sorry,
slip.
I got an 8.
And straight up will just stare at her, and if it looks like she's going to attack again, he'll do something. But does she just like Ah, police brutality.
So, no.
Sorry, it's in my
You turn around and you say, "I assume you just slipped."
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, I just realized it's on the map. That's funny." She says, "Unfortunately, no. I drastic times. You know how that goes." And she flips the sap in her hands, and she gets ready like she's going to swing with it. She's like, "It's either this," or with her other hand pats the hilt of one of her blades.
Are you possessed?
It's funny you should ask. And then she goes to swing at you. But of course, you still have your turn. This is aggressive action.
I wanted to do the talking first. I'll do mage armor, and then I'll do expeditious retreat.
Ooh.
Not my spell.
So where do you choose to rush to?
Into the office and out a window if I can.
Roll me an acrobatics check.
I'm swaddled in many blankets.
Okay, so this is what happens. She goes you get having this conversation, and you can see in her eyes before she even says that last thing. You just she's like, "Funny you should ask," and you're already throwing your hand up to start running. And so you throw your hand up, getting the spell going, and you turn and you start running as quickly as you can, just muttering quickly out the words for your mage armor spell. You get the mage armor out, you get your protective spell on. You literally, right as you're jumping out off of the ground and through glass, the force field around your body, protecting you against the shattering glass as you jump through it. You come flopping out the other side of the window and hit the ground hard, but you roll enough to keep the momentum going to get yourself back up onto your feet. It's not super graceful. No, not in the least bit. You drop behind one of Luca's boots, but it's one of those things where you're like, I can come back to it. And so you keep
Back here in the next few hundred years and pick it up.
You keep running. Boots will hold that long, right? Right?
Yeah.
And you keep running somewhat down the street with that. And so...
yeah, with concentration 10 minutes, I flash away from it.
Yeah. So she comes rushing into the office behind you, Carson. She's like, "It doesn't have to be this way!" And she throws a dagger at you from behind. So...
Oh, what a bitch! What a bitch! It doesn't have to be this way! I was very open for the conversation!
So what's your AC now, Stalbor?
14.
14. So she hurls a dagger at you from behind, and she is actually going to hit you.
Not surprised, my AC's 14.
Yeah. Sorry, that one.
Scott, what's the range on a thrown dagger?
Shut up. Does do seven more points of damage.
Still running.
Damn it! So she hurls that dagger after you.
Where it definitely completely knock me to the ground, but I drag back up.
She hops herself through the window that you had already broken, potentially even cutting her hand as she places it in the glass, hop through it, and then starts trying to run after you. Now, because of the fact that she happens to have levels in a class that allows her to do these things as a bonus action, she actually closes a lot of the gap between.
I'm double dashing, and she's also double dashing.
So she's chasing after you. So, I mean, no. So that was the first round. The second round, do you just double dash?
I just double dash.
So you do a triple move?
Stalbor can't double dash in the direction I'm going. At this point, there's no more. Actually, I have 20 intelligence. I would be subtly trying to get myself back to the Caniff building.
Okay.
I suppose.
So you do your double dash for your one round. She's going to single dash behind you, because it'd be bonus action, move action to do so, to keep the distance between you guys still relatively small, as she's going to hurl her second and last dagger at you from behind.
Goodbye. Yeah, this was a nice place before we left.
What's your AC?
14.
Damn it. So the dagger comes flying, and it's one of those things where you literally look back behind you and you see the dagger coming, and you're like, oh shit. You don't know, maybe it was the magic on your body that slowed down the force of it enough, but actually it cuts into your cloak and gets kind of stuck onto your cloak, dangling as you're running. It's flapping and hitting you in your back as you're running along.
I need another dagger.
And with this, we're going to turn this into a chase scene where we're going to make acrobatics checks. So it's opposed acrobatics checks. You can do athletics if you prefer.
I'm better at acrobatics. Do I get any kind of bonus from Expeditious Retreat, or is it just because she's also fast, it kind of evens out?
Unfortunately, because she has the same speed, it evens out.
I'm gonna get police brutality. Real hard over here, guys.
I'm gonna be calling internal affairs over this. Yes.
I'm not right. Stalbor deals with bureaucracy. He doesn't turn to it instantly.
Okay, that first one, you actually win by 1, but you actually win, and that's a good thing that you won. Kieran, roll me a perception check.
I will also add, at this point, considering that I got stabbed and I'm running, I would just yell out, "Kieran!" as loud as I can.
You hear Stalbor screaming, like, off in the distance. You hear, Kieran. Like, Stalbor's voice, but it's, like, far. I imagine you start trying to search for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and so you're going to do that, of course. And you're, like, heading in that direction. Stalbor, your second acrobatics check, please. You have action points. As a matter of fact, Stalbor and Kieran have 2 more action points than they think they do.
Yeah, please. Please
My-
don't.
left over, so.
We pray to RN Jesus.
Okay, so unfortunately your 18 isn't enough this time. And so you actually are running, and she closes the gap on you, like, incredibly so. So you guys are kind of like where you were beforehand. She's chasing only about like 30 or 40 feet behind you, chasing after you. Sometimes it's 60, sometimes it's 15. You know what I mean? So, Kieran, roll me another perception check.
Okay.
Karen, don't fuck
I
this
thought
up.
this town was quite nice the first time. I've changed my mind.
Oh,
Kieran, you see him running, Kieran! Like down like an alleyway, and then you see the captain of the guard chasing after him. Then they go behind other buildings. You know exactly where they are.
Damn it.
Because the captain of the guard
Alright,
would be
follow.
running really fast like an assassin. But Stalbor's kind of running pretty slowly with magic making him go really fast.
So you imagine
He's
he
running
places his foot down and it slides before the other one comes up. You know what I mean? It's like, you guys ever play? I always bring up the old Diablo game, God Mode, where you just kind of slid across that. So anyways,
running like Luigi, just
she's-
like all legs.
she's chasing after him. Kieran, you're gonna try to run into the fight. Kieran, do me a favor, roll me an initiative.
Oh, Jesus. This is not gonna go well. Jeez.
I don't know
How
why.
far
I think
away
this
are
is
right
fine. This is fine.
Actually,
We're all clearly like moundling people, and we're just gonna kill them all.
you roll the same initiative as Stalbor. Stalbor, you're gonna roll me an acrobatics check.
I love how we came here to clear our...
Oh my God! Okay, hold on. This is amazing. You not only get away, a corner of your eye, you see Kieran coming in, you hit a corner really hard and turn like 90 degrees and it heads straight towards Kieran. So you're like running at Kieran! Running at Kieran. And she hits that corner way easier than you did. It's one of those, she kind of like steps up on the wall, like 2 steps, and to turn, and she comes after you,
She wasn't evil.
bolting.
She'd be a badass. Well,
And then doesn't really realize, because she's so focused on you, what's coming the opposite direction. Kieran, it's your turn.
Yep.
I was kind of expecting a lightning bolt.
I'm
Me-
going.
Heavy left.
Me too, honestly.
I
That
have
was,
1 third level spell left, and I have 1 sorcery point left.
Saving it. Good idea.
I was like, that's rather tame. So unfortunately, your 15 is not enough to hit her. It's the story of Kieran's life. I'm gonna be badass right now, Fuzzle.
Just a lightning bolt.
You straight up here.
Ah.
Of all the times to miss, you miss now.
All right.
Really fast.
So you throw, all of a sudden you go and you're like, and you throw the chromatic orb at her, and Stalbor's like, really? Now? And keeps running as you know, she's coming at you. But now, unfortunately, she's coming at you too. Stalbor runs past you, and she chooses to instead engage with you. And so she draws, as she's running, she does the whole, draws both of her swords out, kind of flips them into the stance that she, like, the grip that she feels comfortable with, and comes running directly at you, and then will jump in the air to start attacking you with the swords. So, I have to attack you,
Whoever
Kieran.
Patreon supported to create this character, bravo.
Um,
This one's neat. There was a bit too many descriptions.
This one's gonna need a lightning bolt.
Kieran, what's your AC?
Nice. My AC, not high. 13.
Oh, good. I hit you twice.
Okay, good.
Unfortunately, I don't get sneak attack on you because I don't have, you know, anything that's going to grant that at the moment. But that's okay. I still get to do both my damages. Here we go.
I think it'll be okay.
This is 2 attacks damage.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so 2 attacks. So she comes running at you. What happens is, as she comes running at you, she crouches down low like she's going to thrust at you, and you kind of get ready for it. But instead, she just springs in the air, like last second, and stabs down at you with the sword. You barely get out of the way in time of the attack. As the sword comes hitting down to the ground, you see an opening as she hits the ground hard, and go to try to like move to cast your lightning bolt spell. But instead, she spins while she's still coming into the ground, faster than you would have expected, and hits you with the sword coming across, hitting you in the ribs with a ever so slight gash into your side. So I mean, it cuts through your clothes, cut through everything that you're wearing, and a slight gash in your side, doing the total of 14 points of damage.
Ouch. Okay. My turn?
Mm-hmm. All right, technically Stalbor's turn. Stalbor, are you still running?
We have the same initiative, right?
What was that?
I think me and Kieran have the same initiative.
Yep, but I'm giving you the because you were there
I'd
first.
rather wait to see if she fails.
Okay. So hold your turn. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let me roll my dexterity save.
This person seems dexterous.
I know, right?
Keeping up with Stalbor, who had a spell.
Okay, so you cast your lightning bolt at her, and she sees it coming because you're such close range. She sees it coming, and instead of like dodging out of the way with her the sword that she attacked with first, she flips it up and actually smacks the side of your hand really hard. So it actually leaves a cut in your wrist, like along the side of your wrist, but it throws your arm out wide enough that most of the attack misses her. It's only the peripheries of the attack that really are able to hit her. So she takes a bit of damage from that.
Yep. That's not good. Alright, it's my turn.
Alright, I will, seeing that I will stop. I'll turn over my shoulder and yell, Reich! Luca! Hell, Kieran!
They're not here.
And turn and do a level 3 magic missile on her, although I don't think I can do level 3, so let me just add an extra 2d4.
Thank you.
Plus 2.
That's a good one, Ollie.
What one?
What you're doing right now. So 7. Okay, so that's brain not working. 15 points of damage. So 15 points of damage to her is good. That's good stuff. So she and it literally batters her down to the ground and completely loses her footing for a second. Even one of her butt cheeks kind of like grazes the ground as she gets hit by all the bolts, and it like throws her down. But so like she has like one leg out wide, barely holding herself down with the tiptoe of another one, and literally a sword as like a third point to the ground to hold herself up. It is the most uncomfortable looking stance. Most people just kind of flop after that, unable to hold themselves. But instead, she springs herself back up to her feet.
Is this Catwoman? Are we fighting Catwoman?
Potentially. And then she turns. And then she turns and she points the sword at Stalbor and says, "Hold your turn," and walks like very ambitiously towards Kieran. And as she does so, she's gonna attack you twice, Kieran.
It's a lot of action on her turn.
This is
She is a rogue.
Stand up, walk, and attack. That's normal.
This is a rogue fighting us. A rogue who is part of the town guard.
Kieran, your AC is 13. I hit you twice.
Okay, I think I'm done.
Uh-oh.
No, could you guys not?
Can you not die?
Kinda have to.
Kinda have to.
Kind of have
I have
to
a
die.
choice. 17.
So the issue is that they don't have a lot of
I'm
AC.
still up.
They don't have a lot of AC. That's what hurts them.
I have a single health point.
Okay. Oh! Awesome. Okay.
I also have nothing for spells right
It's your turn, Kieran. She's directly in front of you.
How far away
Fortunate.
are they? Like, how was Kieran from the city?
It took a while. No, well, she's in the city, but it took
Well,
a
no,
while.
but she
It
said
took
she
a
started,
while to
like-
walk there. Think about how long Stalbor is walking. You know what I mean?
Right, so we're thinking like she's like 10 minutes away, right?
Yeah, she's a bit away. Yeah.
All right, just making sure.
How far away is Stalboy from me?
Like up to him.
60 feet, I'd say.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
So I would have kept running for a bit before I stopped.
Otherwise,
Ooh. And you do. I have to make a Constitution saving throw.
yeah.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. That is not a good save for me. Come on. There you go. Actually, I rolled a total of a 5. I failed.
Nice. Okay, so that is. I have to roll the damage separately.
You cast
Don't
at level 1. Okay.
Yep. I don't have any second level spells right now.
Yep.
2d8.
God.
8 points of damage.
Okay, 8 on top of the 15.
Push
on
her
top of this.
away, and I'm gonna move.
Ouch. She is not looking very good.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can tell like there is a bit of like fear in her eyes. Who's super close? Kieran's super close. But Kieran's got bloodlust.
Can I make an intimidate check at her? Like, be like, go now, and we'll stop. Since she looks at
You can roll me an insight with disadvantage first.
All right.
Because
Bloodlust.
Kieran's a
Kieran has
murderer.
Can
bloodlust.
I?
Stalbor, yeah, you can.
I'm just staring.
You're
at it.
disadvantaged because you're far away, though, not because of you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
murdering people.
Also, nah, we're half elves.
Yeah.
Half elves are half as easy to understand than humans.
Unfortunately, neither of you guys pick up anything other than, she kind of like looks around for a couple seconds and then she like buckles down like, this is definitely what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to stay and fight. Like she was contemplating it for a second. So I'm going to stay and fight. Kieran, you do pick that up enough that you can do the intimidation check if you'd like, but because you're doing it as like a bonus action, it's going to be with disadvantage. You're not doing it as like a standard action.
Do it.
Two
Kieran.
20s.
It's actually not bad. So what do you say, Kieran?
Use the force, Luke.
You can leave now. We won't stop you. We'll just keep going on our way. Or you can stay here and we'll kill you. It's your
Kill the
life.
shit out of you.
She actually thinks about it for a couple seconds, and then she looks to Stalbor.
Stalbor would be like pulling more magic missiles from the book.
Yeah.
Kieran will notice he's having a lot harder trouble casting basic spells because it's a completely different spell book, but he'd look dramatic, I guess.
She's trying to get from him if he looks like he's willing to go along with it.
It's pretty hard to tell because Stalbor is kind of a melty man.
Sure.
But yeah, that's you. The whole fight, he's been like, I'm just trying to leave.
Okay.
I'm just trying to go. So yeah, he would go along with that.
She like calculates. She's like, fine.
All right. We'll leave then.
She does not put her swords away or change her stance or anything. She like holds herself still, swords out, like waiting for you to act.
I'm just gonna back up.
Okay.
Yeah, but as
I'm not
up,
gonna.
facing her.
Yeah, facing her, not taking my eyes off her, and like just keeping my hands out like in a spellcasting gesture.
And the two of you go to meet the other ones just outside the city.
Yeah.
Okay. So you two kind of like back away, and eventually kind of like break line of sight. You see that she follows you a smidge, like not like follows you, like she walks at a fourth your pace, kind of like keeping after you guys for a bit, just to like make sure like, yeah, you get out of here. But after even like a minute or so of that, she just stops and goes the other direction. Okay. The whole while though, can you guys roll me a perception check?
Yeah.
You see, Stalbor definitely picks it up first and kind of like nudges Kieran. The entire town was watching you guys fighting with the captain of the guard. The entire town saw you guys fighting the captain of the guard.
Run away for like 10 minutes.
Yes,
Stalbor, this
you were
town
resisting
is
arrest.
creepy.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Stalbor, this town is fucking creepy. Something's wrong with the people here.
No, I think they're just assholes. I asked if she was possessed and she said no.
Okay.
That's actually not the
well,
response she gave.
That's not the response.
Yep.
I tried to interrogate that member from Housecand, and it was a very weird conversation.
Can
Like,
we
I
just
don't-
leave? I
Yeah.
don't care. It might be you rubbing off on me, but I don't care about these people anymore, Kieran. I don't.
Okay.
And so with that, we're actually going to take our first break as the two of you guys are coming outside of the town to meet with Reich, Bellum, and a dead body. So
It's like a sitcom.
we'll be back in about 5 minutes, and yeah, we'll see how things play out outside. So see everybody in about 5 minutes. Hang tight. Thank you so much. Bye bye.